right, we are live. Is it 6 o'clock? It is 6 o'clock now. Guess we can call this meeting to order. And Rob, would you like to? It is Rob, right?
Yep.
Are you going to speak tonight then?
Yeah,
we weren't going to do the agenda.
Oh.
We can do that.
Well, I mean, we're going to swear him in.
And, well, we'll get to him. He's new business. We got to take care of the old business.
We got to take care of the old business.
Yeah.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order then. Is there a motion to, I mean, have you looked over the
minutes.
Thank you, that's what they're called, minutes.
Jeez,
They're fine. Minutes from the last meeting?
yes.
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 And
Absolutely.
Yes, 4 yeses and an absolutely. All right, thank you. Then the minutes, approved, motion to be approved.
A second. First. Did somebody make a motion?
Yeah, I did.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right, we're done with that, and then we will go into the swearing in of the applicant. Yes.
Sorry.
I know.
Sworn in as well.
You got to be sworn in?
Because he's talking.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
all right.
if you would
Yeah.
stand.
So those that are going to be swearing in,
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
thank you. All right. We turn it over to you, Adam, then.
The variance we're going to hear tonight is case number B24-011. The address is 7650 Cubbage Road, Westerville, Ohio 43081. The variance request from section 512.02.2, section A, article 5, general development standards to allow construction of an accessory structure that is not to the side or rear of the principal structure. So the applicant's site is located on the east side of Cubbage Road. The zoning for the site is restricted suburban residential R1, as well as the sites to the north, south, east, and west. Per section 512.02.2A, the accessory building shall be located to the side or rear of the principal structure and shall be no closer than 10 feet from any part of the principal structure. The applicant is specifically requesting a variance from the section 512.02.2, section A, that requires accessory buildings to be located to the side or rear of the principal structure. The proposal. The application proposes installing a 12,000 square foot accessory building in the front of the front side of the primary structure to the south and west side of the property. The home has geothermal lines for heating and cooling installed both behind the east side of the primary structure. To the west side of the primary structure is a septic system, and construction closer near that septic system are prohibited. The rest of the property is wooded area. Hence, the applicant is proposing placing the structure to the southwest side of the property to avoid removing trees and disturbing utilities already present on the property. After review of the application, Blendon Township staff has found no other issues with the proposed accessory building other than section 512.02.2, section A. The proposed accessory building meets all size, height, and setback requirements. The applicant did not provide proof of water and sanitary sewer as the proposed structure does not require it. Without the variance, the property owner will still be able to use the property as a residential home. The variance could be considered substantial as the placement of the structure is nowhere near where the structure is required to be placed. The character of the neighborhood may not be affected by the structure as it's surrounded by woods and not visible in the right of way or neighboring properties. The structure would not impact the delivery of governmental services. The applicant could potentially make the structure smaller and place it to the side of his primary structure. The variance would not be required at that point. With the unique lot shape, utility placement, and unique primary structure placement on a lot combined with lack of visibility from the surrounding properties, justice could be done by granting variance. Variance criteria. So the following 7 criteria for granting an area variance. The factors shall be weighed and balanced to determining whether a variance is warranted. It is also important to note that the applicant bears the burden of proof that the variance criteria have been met and that the applicant application of the zoning requirement is subject, or the subject property would be inequitable, excuse me. Variance criteria for approval are: 1, whether the property in question will yield a reasonable return, or whether there will be any beneficial use of the property without the variance, whether the variance is substantial, whether the character of the neighborhood would be adversely affected, or whether the adjoining properties would suffer adverse impact as a result of the variance, whether the variance would adversely affect the delivery of governmental services, for example, water, sewage, and garbage, whether the property owner purchased the property with knowledge of the zoning restriction, whether the property owner's predicament can be feasibly obviated through some other method other than the variance. Lastly, whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement will be observed and substantial justice be done by granting the zoning variance. That's what I have as well.
Adam, you mentioned about the structure being built meets all, and in some of the past, we've had drawings, schematics or something. Have you seen anything about that? Was it?
So what the application was just, there was no specific architectural drawings provided. It was just a kind of rough layout. The applicant was requesting permission specifically to put the structure there.
Okay.
And so that's what the application is for. To also give you some background, he has applied for this same application before and it's expired, which was approved before, but that was administrative error prior. So I told him to apply for the variance. We would potentially place a structure there depending on what the board decides. So as of right now, no, there's no architectural drawings of it, but he's just requesting permission to be able to place the structure in front of his primary structure opposed to the side.
So what it'll be, okay, got it.
And this will also have to go before Blendon County Building Department, and they'll have to approve all the building design and all that before that construction is done.
In the map in the second page, right, the green arrow is not within the property line. So the green pointer.
So that's, I don't know why, that's the image from Frank County's website. If you do an aerial view of the property, for some reason there's an issue with their locator pin. I don't know why it's there in that photo, but the property is that red outline. But that green pin is not where the property is located.
Oh, the green pen is supposed to point the property, not the new building, right?
Yes.
How far is the property from the other property line?
I'd have to look at the application to see how far it was.
Proposed new structure, is that what you're asking? How far it is from the property?
Yeah, how far is the proposed new structure from the other property line, which is next to it, with the 3128?
Is that a question Rob needs to answer?
I can answer. I mean, the application that he provided me, was stating that the lease was 20 feet off the property line. It should be in the application
I
itself.
see a handwritten drawing says 25 feet.
25 feet
Okay.
from the property.
Yeah.
Minimum requirement
Requirement is, I'm sorry?
the minimum requirement is 10 feet from the property line for a project this size.
How long ago was it that he had applied for a variance and it was?
He never applied for variance because it was administrative error. So he may not have caught the fact that he couldn't put the primary structure in front of his home, or because of just the odd placement of where his house is, and where the primary structure is proposed going. They may have just overlooked the fact that I had to go to the side of the rear. It's just something I caught in my review, so I asked him to apply for variance.
Okay. Thank you. You said no construction started.
As far as I know.
And you said that it's not visible from the right of way, and it's
Yes.
also not visible from the neighbors? That's what-
Yeah, so if you look at those properties, if you look at them on kind of that photo on the second page, it's wooded lot between basically all of his property, like surrounding properties. The other property that's invisible is the property there to the east, which, but where he's placing the structure, I don't know that you have to be able to see it through the trees from the neighboring property. That's probably a good question for the applicant, to be sure.
And the new building is already there, right, in the map?
It looks like there's a structure there on the map, but it could be because if you apply to Franklin County Building Department, which is, I believe this is what this gentleman has done, you have to confirm. If you put that application in, they will update their GIS mapping based on the permit. So he submitted plans, but based on our conversation, the way I understood it, is he never went forward with those plants, so his permit expired. And so he was re-upping that permit with myself and then Franklin County for doing construction.
Thank you. Any other questions for Adam?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have some questions for the applicant? Thank you.
State your name and the fact that you've been sworn in.
Also, your address for the record.
Robert C. Randall III, I was sworn in, and my address is 7650 Coventry Road, Westerville.
Hey, I'll go ahead and start. I like some of these other photos that had the
Satellite.
yeah, because part of what that said was that, hey, this thing's wooded in, and truly it is. And I just I'll start first with just and kind of walk you through. You can answer the question about the lot, but I got a handy dandy pointer here, so it'll help us. When you I'm getting blinded out here. This drive right here, get back here, just to, you know, you say you can't see this from there. How long is that drive?
It's 900 feet,
900 feet.
because I ran a water line, so I know.
Yeah.
To the street from the southwest corner of my house.
Yeah. Can you see your house from the road?
No.
When the leaves are done? No.
If you look between 03, 047,
Yeah.
and 44, sometimes you can see the corner, the back northwest corner.
It's dark and the lights are on in the wintertime.
Pretty much.
So, I just wanted to-
So I've got, it's wooded all the way around my lot, and then my aeration mound has pine trees on it that are 60 feet tall. Franklin County knocked 2 of them out, and they're building the ditch.
So even the visibility of this, the only person that's really going to even have a chance to see it is here.
He's got a bunch of trees in front of there too, so.
Right through here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he only has a fence out to, what's that blue line? The green line?
So that's where
Looks
they've done a
like-
lot split. They've combined the lots, so they're not paying property taxes.
Looks
like
Two
it.
lots.
About half of the right side of his lot is where his fence stops, and then the rest is wooded.
And I presume you're wooded behind too.
I'm wooded up to Delena's property, and then there's, that's wide open in there.
Yeah.
You can see the back part of my house from Shot and Walnut, the corner intersection, but only back, like, corner.
So, no, I mean, again, I just said to establish is you're back in the woods.
If you go out my driveway, you can't even see the house until you're almost through.
Or the spot where this building's gonna go up. Yeah, okay.
Can't see it.
Just got a question on that, on the photograph,
Mhm.
there's some white, something behind it. Is that, what is it?
Fence.
Oh, fence, okay.
There's a white fence, and she's got a chapel, a white chapel in the southwest corner of her properties.
Okay.
And then there's the horse barn now is like right behind my house. But that's, she told me that's gonna be for horses, and she might change her mind.
So, and then we go to the lot itself. You said, you know, some of the reason to put this in the front is that you've got a septic tank in the back, which is, you know,
Septic's in the west.
Yeah.
Germany.
yeah, this is a much better drawing of that, of seeing,
But your geothermal is in the back.
this was in your,
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
so-
take that back and
Yeah.
maybe speak to that. And I'll just kind of pinpoint that on this,
Yeah.
on this map, that, you know, you've got back here, you've got you've got septic over here, and then you've got this geothermal loop system.
My geothermal loop system goes almost up to her fence line, from what I can tell.
How far down is that?
It's 6 feet.
4 to 6 feet. And this was one of the, this is an open area now, or
Yeah.
avoided trees, so you don't have to cut anything down to put the building in there? Okay.
Yeah. And then, like I said, the septic goes out the west side of my house, and then I've got 3 tanks, and then lift pump.
What's west here, up here?
Straight across. Nope, that's fine. Well, yeah, so that whole thing, there's a big aeration mound that basically goes from the corner up to her property wide. I mean, it's easily this wide, and then goes that whole length. And then the septic goes through there, and the tanks are right along up towards the house.
Don't see many people here dissenting. Have you spoken with your neighbors
Yeah.
about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't met the one neighbor that's got that huge long property, but he waves at me.
With
all
all,
the hunt on the back part of the land.
with all the fingers.
How many acres is that? Just
About
curious.
4 acres.
4 acres, that's a lot of land and a lot of trees.
Yeah.
You said it's 4.3 acres?
It's like 4.333 or something like that, something weird.
Yeah. I understand you're gonna put a pole barn up there?
Yeah,
Is
it'll be a metal pole.
Okay.
Nothing like red or anything like that. It's something simple.
Are you gonna put concrete on the floor in the pole barn?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have a driveway put on the front of it there?
Just stone, just to like.
Oh,
drive
okay.
into it. That's
Gotcha.
Like, my current driveway is stone all the way, which
Oh.
pushes out quick. Because it's actually an incline, like you go up onto the property. So that also helps hide the house because you're elevated.
I was gonna ask 900 foot long driveway, how is it for snow removal, if it's gravel?
It takes 3 passes with my tractor.
I saw no water, but are you planning on having electric in there?
Just electric.
Just electric?
Yeah, no water, no septic, just water bottles.
Wood burn stove or anything like that in wintertime, or?
Probably.
Okay.
Just to keep it on there, like, hot.
I understand.
Why is the new building angled? Is it,
Keep it
that's,
away from the property line. I'm trying to hide as much as I can if any neighbor tries to see it, because I don't want to mess with their sight line. I know Ken that lives there on that property, and they love the trees, so I don't want to mess with their,
so when I
trying to be
say,
a good neighbor.
okay. When I say angled, it's not parallel to the right of way, that's what I was asking, why was it angled, tilted a bit?
Just, there's open spot, and that's how it is.
Do you have to clear the trees to build it there, or? Okay.
No, there was a bunch of dead stuff and just very fine junk.
And you don't need HVAC or anything like that? So it's not gonna be, there won't be air conditioning, right?
No.
No, it's just cells.
It's storage.
Yeah.
It's gonna be storage.
How many garage doors will be there?
On the
Do you know how many doors will be there for the property?
doors,
Yeah, door,
just one entrance door and
back door.
one entrance. There's not even gonna be windows.
Pole barn.
No gutters.
Storage shack.
Not my 3-car garage, that is full of junk.
This is the one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a barn, or a door right here.
So you said 2 doors, right? One in the front and one in the back?
10 by
Or-
10 entrance roll-up door, garage
Okay.
door, like your typical garage door, and then one entrance door.
Is that at the back? Then
No, right.
oh, both are in the front.
Well, no, it's right on this, so if you're looking at the building, it would be on the left.
Yeah.
and then Entrance door.
So you have a concept in your mind, but no plans actually submitted yet then, correct?
No, I have plans submitted. It's 10 by 10, like, I can get you the plans if you want the plans.
Here's how tall it's gonna be, where you plan on having it being.
10-foot wall and then 12, 4 pitch, whatever, 12, 10 pitch.
Yes, I apologize for asking.
That's okay. Yeah, that's any question. Yeah, I've submitted this a total of 3 times. With approvals. And then my building permit frankly ran out. Like, here's the most recent one from 2022. So, no variance was in the car.
Only reason I asked for the height was, obviously the trees are probably mature woods taller than a building.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the woods are all, there's some red oak, mature red oaks. Most of them are silver maple. I've got a lot of cottonwoods, like mature cottonwoods. And it's not the pine I've got is on the aeration mount. There's a couple willows and shagbark hickory, mature shagbark hickory. A couple of like cherries that keep dying.
Okay.
They don't get very good.
Okay.
A lot of honeysuckle. It makes it
A couple deers in there, don't you?
couple. Yeah, I think we had 2 sets of twin fawns this year.
There's a lot.
Turkeys, guys. Different weapons. Every bird you can imagine. Out there.
Brenda refers to a place like that, for John Muir, it's Muirisk.
Risk. Anybody have any other questions for Rob? Adam?
What is the other option? You said like you can also put a building elsewhere if you're not getting approval.
That's pretty much there. If I want to hide it, I don't want to mess with Elena's event center, which would, if you went to the right, I don't want to go on the back of the property because that's a whole nother mess, I think. Plus, like, this is an open area, so it's kind of easiest, best. I mean, I'd love if I could have put it on the back, but like I've got all that geothermal. I mean, everything from the front of my house back is basically like used from who built the house, which were the Bryans.
How far is the back of your property to 3042?
3042.
To the north.
To the
Not that.
wall.
Not that. Oh, up
From back of my house
23042.
to 42,
Yeah.
it's about this far. Like you're looking out my kitchen to the property line.
And what about 59 Delina's property?
That's
How far is it?
4442 and 32 are all her property.
I'm 5932. Is 593? But I went to 592. How far is it?
From the corner of the house back to the wall.
It's not
Like
big.
I'm back in the corner.
Okay, yeah, because the home is like,
Than it really is.
that other building is just a storage shed you have in the end of the driveway.
It's a little storage shed that was there when I bought it.
When did you buy the property from? Approximately.
Hang on.
It's 28.
16 was July 15th.
July 8th.
what was the reason for the delay? Because you had the approval 2 years before, right?
Yeah, so I had the approval and the thing died and then it was a mess. First approval was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And then I changed, I made it quite a bit smaller, so I had another approval, and then didn't make it, didn't build it. It's then this, and now this.
Are you pretty much set on the size of the building? You're not planning on expanding onto it or anything? Okay.
Let's put it this way, I don't want to.
It's 10 feet tall, right? Am I wrong?
10-foot wall.
10-foot wall.
So then it then goes up to
And how tall will be the garage door? 10 feet or
10 by 10.
10 by 10. Where would you store your if the approval is not granted? Do you have other options? Everything's outside?
Yeah, what's on them? My wife is not
How many times has she been up on the tractor?
No,
Thank you.
he's in medical, so I'm up pretty early to file it. I mean, last year I didn't call.
Did you? Length is enough for you, 40 feet? Are you sure about the length?
Yeah, I'm not as big as I want to pay. And at that point, it's all this stuff, so.
Anything under the property? Is there anything lines, any electrical or anything, any lines under the
The
property?
electrical follows the property line. It follows the south side of the property line and then goes basically right along the driveway to where the 3 is. There's a transformer, and then it crosses my driveway to the back of the northwest corner. It's only about 15 inches deep because of the water line.
Where do you get your water from?
From Belco. There's a well in the south, what's that? I'm sorry, confused. Yeah, so southeast corner, there's a well, but it's only 75 feet deep, and you couldn't, when we were, you couldn't take a shower without shooting dirt at you, so. And my wife was pregnant.
You verified with the other company, right? There is no line, service line, there's no service line under the property.
No, it's just that electric. I've got a propane tank that sits right next to the bottom of the aeration mound, which feeds a backup generator. So there's only a line that follows straight to the house. And then there's an internet cable that goes on with the Charlotte. There's like 10 of them because they come with reason. But that's the only, there's no gas from the street, there's nothing. The electrical actually drops halfway up the driveway, about where that green dotted line is. There's a pole, and that's where it drops down and then runs.
What about internet or any internet or cable?
Cable's on the right, the north driveway, and so is the water line running straight up to the street.
You think that the neighbors can't see the 3128, can't see the new building?
They can't see my house. Have lights on.
Do they have woods? That's why they can't see.
There's woods, and then there's woods.
Okay, there's
and
woods.
then there's woods.
So there's woods at the end.
Yeah, yeah. They have a couple of huge hills. I mean, like you can get your arms around them out there.
Anybody else have any other questions for Rob or Adam? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rob.
You want this one back?
Yeah, please. Thank you. You think we need to go into executive session?
If you want, if you're comfortable doing it, you can do it.
Oh, okay, with just talking about it here?
Perfectly fine with that.
Yep. Good. Executive session. All right. So what do you think?
Adam, do we need to write on these things?
If you could, that'd be preferable. just 'cause,
Okay.
like, so there's just one copy. from the record.
Mark already started?
Yeah.
Okay.
You overachiever, Mark.
Findings of fact. and
Yep, yep.
conclusions.
For the property is in question, this will not yield a reasonable return or no beneficial use of the property without variance.
That factor is not met because the property has extreme value without building the building on the building, so that's not a factor in
It's not a factor.
for this decision.
I agree.
Is someone writing it?
Yeah, he's right now.
Okay,
Yes.
that is okay.
Yep.
Not substantial. I believe the variance is substantial in the size of the building. Just a fact.
It's not the size, right? It is like where it is. But yeah, it is in the front. Yeah.
Whether the essential character of the neighborhood would not alter, adjoining properties would not suffer a substantial detriment as a result of this variance. I believe the fact that it's hidden completely, the factor's been met.
I agree.
I agree. As long as it doesn't paint it red.
Then you can
Bronzy green.
seen by satellite. Whether the variance would not adversely affect the services, which is water, sewage, garbage.
There's nothing around it.
Whether the owner did not purchase the property with knowledge of the zoning restriction.
Whether he purchased the property or not, he probably didn't know if he needed the structure at the time either, so.
Yeah. I think that factor's met.
Yeah.
Whether the property's owner predicament cannot be obligated or obviated through some other method or variance.
Because,
You're saying no, could not.
yeah, because I mean, he doesn't have much place to. His backyard is very small.
To save the woods, the trees, to keep his
You have to
property.
take down trees to do it,
Exactly.
which is another cost.
Well, the factor's been met. Whether the spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be observed and substantial justice done by granting the variance.
I believe that factor's met.
Yep. I agree. Agree.
Should we write more than yes or no, Adam? Should we explain a bit on some?
As long as there's an explanation,
Yeah.
that's fine. Does not mean.
Should we add a one-line explanation to the important ones?
But then,
Should we add a one-line explanation to the important ones, like the number 6? Do we want to add like, because the backyard is small and then,
no.
yeah, and then there's not a tree, so it can't be like, he can't easily put it into the back or the side. And in the side there is, what is that? What is this?
That's the septic.
Septic in the side,
tank.
that's
No, there's no space due to the septic and geothermal system. I think in the spirit intent behind the zoning requirement would be that this building is hidden from view.
Yeah, it's hidden from the
It's
view
hidden
of
from
the-
view, and as well as space, say, open space property to building.
Awfully planned.
Use the same thing for 3 if you want. It was 4 right?
We should take this then now to vote,
Come on.
and then I'll read the decision.
For the number 5, right, should we say that like he already has stuff which is in the open and but some equipment is in the open already, and we don't know of a mechanism for him to store it properly without this variance.
You have Adam's secretary type this up.
Yeah, my secretary.
Which one is which?
Just put on a different hat.
Her name's Sarah, she's AI.
I can go back down through these again so you can hear them in their complete, and then you add whether the property in question will yield a reasonable return, or there cannot be no beneficial use of the property without the variance. Has not been met, property has value without the addition. Whether the variance is not substantial, the variance is substantial, 30 by 40 building being put on that lot. Whether, and do chime in if you want to add anything to this. Whether the essential character of the neighborhood would not be substantially altered, or adjoining properties would not suffer a substantial detriment as a result of the variance. The factor's been met, it's hidden from view of neighbors. Whether the variance would not adversely affect.
For the previous one, do you want to add a right of way?
Add what?
And right of way.
And right away?
Yeah. Because you can't see it from the right of way.
the variance would not adversely affect the delivery of governmental services. That factor's been met, and there are no governmental services going to this addition. The property owner did not purchase the property with knowledge of the zoning, and that factor's been met at the time of the purchase, but he did find out about it through discovery. Whether the property owner's predicament cannot be feasibly be obviated through some method other than a variance, that factor's been met. No space due to septic and geothermal system. And last, number 7.
Do you want to say no, no space due to septic and geothermal in the back, in the rear and the side of the property? Yeah, because he can only build in the rear and side without the variance. Because he has a lot of space in the front, so.
And dimensions of setback on the rear and side of the property.
Sounds good.
The spirit and intent behind the zoning requirement would be absurd and substantial justice done by granting the variance. Factor is met, hidden from view, and no other open space to erect the building. Take this to vote.
My second.
Have we got a,
Got to say it.
yeah, decision? Could you read the decision?
Let me read the decision first, okay? I move to adopt and incorporate the findings of fact and conclusions of law consistent with the restrictions of the zoning resolution. We approve the variance to the accessory building to be located in the front of the primary structure.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
The variance is approved. Thank you.
Basically, from the approved variance and the certificate of zoning compliance tomorrow with the approval, and then you'll have those. And then if you don't build, you should.
Get the bill so you don't have to come back again.
I'm not really.
I stopped saying never a long time ago.